Because of silver. Yeah, what's that got to do with the altitude? I think silver, the silver price is reaching what's called rarefied altitude, in that we are at levels that have rarely been seen in the last, well, forever in the price of silver. Yes, we did trade up to almost 50 back in 1980. The high there on the spot price in 1980, January 1980, was 47.60. On the futures back then, it could have gotten close to 50. And then in 2011, we got up to 49.81, I think. So right now we're just before I left to do this talk here, silver was at 37.30 on the spot. Last month, the high was 37.31, 33. So we're very close to continuing the breakout in silver. Yeah, we are at like 14-year highs, I think, maybe 13. And by the time you listen to this, we could be a lot higher, maybe lower, who knows? But I think the trend. And what about the altitude? Rarefied air. Well, I'm going to play golf later on today with my sister and a couple of friends. And the golf course here is at 4,500 feet. So the air is a lot thinner, and the ball flies a lot further. If I usually hit a 9-iron, I'm going to be taking a pitching wedge because I don't need as much club because the air flies further. So what I'm trying to say here is that there's not much resistance in the air for silver or on the charts. And that's why I think we are at rarefied altitude on silver. And how can I say, a industrial commodity. Silver has been money for thousands of years. So I'm going to sit down here, have a chat. Just seen the train go by, the MOB train, the Montreux Oberland train, or the MOB, for short. It's just going by. If you want to get up here in the Bernese Oberland, you have to, if you fly to Geneva, you take the train to Montreux, the normal train, and then you change there, and you take this train, and it stops right near the place where I'm staying. Very convenient. But we did drive up. We did drive up this time because we had a bit of luggage because we're staying 2 weeks. But anyway, back to silver. Yes, we've been reading that there's been a shortage of silver, a silver deficit for the last few years. And I think that's going to continue. And why is that? Well, because major producers like Mexico, they are making it politically difficult for foreign companies to go there. And I think recently there was news that only existing mines could continue to be mined, that the government wouldn't give new licenses. So that's not going to help. So the other thing is that with silver, there's very few primary silver mining, producing silver mines. A lot of times the mining is done alongside copper and other metals. So yeah, and the price has been kept suppressed for so long, and costs have gone up so much that recycling existing above ground silver, and silver, of course, is in all kinds of products. So recycling silver is not that economical. It will probably become more economical, of course, as the prices go up. But to start a silver mining business, to do the exploration first, and then to develop the mine, get it producing, it takes years to do that. And I think that's why silver has a lot further to go. The other thing is that there's a lot of paper shorts out there that will need to be covered. Yes, some of the bullion banks, they go short to hedge paper silver that they sell to hedge funds that go long. But yeah, that's part of it. But I think the central banks, they're heavily involved in suppressing silver. decades ago, especially in the 70s and the late 70s and 80s, of how the open interest in silver was closed out as the market rallied. And I spoke to the Gnome of Zurich, the guy I met last November at a Precious Metals Summit mining conference in Zurich. And he does a lot of research, technical analysis, Elliott wave. And he definitely thinks that only central banks could really carry all this huge position in silver. And why would banks nowadays want to trade silver if silver is not part of the monetary system anymore? I actually think that silver is going to become more and more important. Silver will make a comeback. I mean, if you think of the word silver, in a lot of languages, it means money. So it's in our DNA. So that's what's going on. I also saw that in Shanghai, and this is data from Oriental Ghost on X or Twitter. He follows silver very closely and gold. In Shanghai, silver is trading almost at $40 an ounce already. So I don't think there's much resistance up until the mid 40s. And once we get there, you can see silver having $5 days. You're going to see a lot of volatility. You're probably going to see the COMEX exchange raise margins, which will probably dampen down a little bit silver. But the other thing that's going on, and I know Trump announced a possible tariff. I don't know. We lose track of what this guy's doing on copper, 50%. And copper broke out to all-time highs. But if you look at the charts, the technical picture looked pretty good. So I think that's another positive for silver. And how do you profit or benefit from silver? Well, I've been stacking coins and bars since 2003. Yes, unfortunately, I've had to sell in the past some of that silver, but I bought it back. I had to sell a whole shoebox of $50, 1964 $50, because I lost my job in the city. They closed down my department, and I wanted to pay off some debt, and that's what I used it for. But I try not to get rid of my silver. The other kind of silver that I think, that I like, but it's more of a collector's silver, is the numismatic silver. That should do well as well, but the point of that is not really to sell it, I would say. And what about mining? Well, silver miners, as I said, there's not too many of them around, but if you go on SILJ ETF, you can see a good list of their holdings. Now I'm going to tell you some of the ones I have that have done well. And this is not like financial advice, and I'm not telling you what to do, but one of them is Avino Silver and Gold, ASM. That has done really well, and I'm still holding on to it. I have sold some to buy other miners, like in silver and gold, but technically it looks really good. I think it could go up even more. It's a silver miner in Mexico. And then you have Vizsla Silver. That has come off recently because they did a financing, but it's a good company. So those are the two, but there's other silver miners like Pan American Silver. That's a very good company. So you can go down that route if you don't want to buy physical silver. If you think it's too bulky, you go with the miners. I like both. What about trading silver? Well, I haven't been really trading regularly the last few years, but my background is in futures and options brokerage, so with these markets. But recently, a few months ago, I bought some calls in silver, and I still have them. And they expired on the 28th of August. And they're starting to look better. But the problem with options in silver is that the bullion banks control it. They kind of make sure that on expiry, the key levels, like 45 or 50, or I've got a 42 call, that expires on the 28th of August. Yeah, they make sure that those levels are protected, but you never know. If they lose control and they have to short cover, it could work out. So the value of those options fluctuate a lot. Could be down like 60% one day, and the next day you start making money depending on how quickly gold goes up. So now it's going to be a little bit of a race against time. Fast move in the price for options. So unless you're really familiar with options, I wouldn't touch it. I haven't really put too much money into it. It's money that I can afford to lose. That's the way you got to look at it. And I'm long options, so I pay premium. I don't, I've known and traded options for over 30 years. And I try not to go short options or sell options to get premiums. I think that's very dangerous, especially calls, because if you sell calls, the amount of loss you can make is unlimited. Puts is a little different because normally markets don't go, a commodity or a stock doesn't trade below zero normally. And I say that because of crude oil. During COVID, it traded at minus $37.50, which is crazy, of course. The WTI contract, you couldn't deliver it. Yeah, or you couldn't store it, in Oklahoma, where the storage facilities are for that contract. So people were caught holding crude oil with nowhere to store it. So they're giving it away. So that was a freak incident, but you never know. You never know. Am I saying silver or gold could go negative? No, I'm just saying, giving you an example because of the options, how to trade options. So yeah, it's very early here this morning. There are a few people running. It's 10 to 8. I get up very early in the summer. And as I said, I'm playing golf this afternoon with my sister, a couple of friends. We only played 9 holes. Then it got cold a little bit and it rained, and now it's sunny again, but not as hot. It's like in the mid-20s Celsius, like 22. Right now it's probably chillier. It's probably in the like 12, 13 degrees Celsius, but it's going to warm up. What else? What about gold? Well, yeah, gold is lagging a little bit now. Silver, which is actually not a bad thing, because as we know, and hopefully you know by now, since 1971, during precious metals bull markets, eventually silver catches up and starts outperforming. So this is a good sign. And the gold-silver ratio is still very high levels. I think it's around 89. It might be a little different, a little higher or lower, but I think 80 is a key level there.